Hey everybody, this is Democracy here, doing a PvP cast. It's gold versus silver on the ladder. My opponent, Ares, is a silver player. I was trying to find him on SE2 ranks, so I'm going to start including those, and I just couldn't, and for some reason I can't find my name either. Someone was able to find it for me, but just by putting in Democracy and even my player number, it doesn't come up. Either way, in this strategy, what I'm going to be talking in this cast, what I'm going to be talking about is what to do when you see your opponent, get a forge first, expect those cannons, and then what to do when from that, if you're able to hold that off, what's progressively going to happen next. Usually they'll go into a standard build, but sometimes they'll just go ahead and try to, forge fast expand it and wall off their front, and this video shows, a pretty good counter to that. Now, what I'm doing right now in my PvP, I'm messing with a couple of builds, but one that I'm really liking, just the flexibility and the safeness of it, from 4 gates and things like that, is the 1 gate robo. And you can actually, something I've been doing is stealing my opponent's gas, making him 4 gate me, and then just building sentries to block off my ramp, building zealots, and getting immortals out. Right here I build a gateway. I see that he is building a forge. I immediately cancel my gateway and I build a forge, and this is where you have to adapt and just learn to see what's going on in the situation. I built a pylon here. My reasoning was I'll be able to scout if he's coming up, and then I noticed that, alright, well I can, instead of having a pylon, I don't really need one right now. I have enough. I can build a gateway, and then I can also put a cannon right there. So it's easier to just figure out if he's coming up and if he does, how to prevent it. When I am sending my pro back, I do send him to the wrong base. What I like to do is I don't like to send them into the base. I just like to go that direction, maybe go another direction, and then come back. I do send my pro back up. I want to see exactly what he's doing. My main reasoning is I want to see if that's the only thing that he did. If he was still on forge. Right here, you'll see I come in, I see no gateway, and this is when I know, okay, I'm going to have to adjust my build. I'm not going to be able to go 1 gate robo anymore. Sorry, at this point, that's not when I adjust. At this point I say to myself, okay, well I see he's only got a forge, so let me put up some cannons and be able to, attack. And then from there, I see him put up 1 cannon, and then right before, I'm just going to stop it just a little bit before, right as I'm coming down, and this is a big indication, I see him put down 1 cannon, and that's standard, but what really does it is, this brief second, I see him put down a second one. It's very brief. Right here, but I'm able to see that little, glimpse or whatever it is, and that allows me to say, okay, I'm fairly confident that he is going to be going a fast expand with these cannons in the front. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to go blink stalkers, blink into right here with a hallucination, and then do a lot of damage like that. I put the cannon here so just in case his probe comes up this way, goes ahead and kills it. And then if he comes up and around, like up here, and then tries to come around, this cannon will go ahead and kill it. Because even if he does, even if he is able to go ahead and cannon off, and this is just to show, what we're building. Even if he is able to cannon off out here, in order for him to attack the high ground, he has to come up, and this is what this cannon does. I'm actually not gonna. Sorry, I was toying around with maybe putting up these tabs, but I'm just going to do it full in my view and what I'm thinking. So with this probe, I go ahead and say, okay, I'm gonna just put him up here at the top. That'll be my warping in pylon, or my proxy pylon, whatever you want to call it. And then I go ahead and I add 2 gates, and then I add 1 more. So that way I have 4 gateways, or I think I had, yeah, I have 4 gateways, and let's go ahead and continue producing probes. This whole game, you want to just continue producing probes. Now I have no vision of his ramp. I can't say for 100% certainty that he is trying to expand, but by seeing that second pylon right there, especially where it was, it's a big indicator in my mind, at least, of that. Now, you'll see that you go ahead, put down the Twilight Council, and my timings, they're not the best. The reason that I'm not building units after this is because I'm supply blocked, and this build is not, this cast is not really to say, okay, look at these times, these timings are perfect, you got to follow these. No, it's just if you encounter this, you know, him going forge first, you should, in my opinion, you should cancel your gateway and go forge, just because it makes it a heck of a lot easier to contain it. If he doesn't do anything with it, alright, well then, you know, you've got a forge, but it was 150 minerals realistically to, or a lost game. So the RTI, I believe it's called the return on investment, or yeah, it's wrong word, but the rate of return on what you're getting as far as 150 minerals to possibly not lose the game just by being able to cannon him before you cannon, putting a cannon in your base before he cannons you, to my opinion, is worth it. I don't warp in a round of units even when I do get that supply, just because, or I don't build them while the warp gate's going, just because I know that I can just build them right now. I don't want to have to wait, you know, I'd rather just have the money. And I noticed that my gas is getting very low because I do have to build the sentry, which takes away from 2 stalkers. You know, I had to build the add-ons, I had to build hallucination. This takes up a lot. So what I went ahead and did was I took you know, these 2 gas over here. You know, I don't want to take an expansion because I want to go ahead and I was thinking about this as I was playing. I was like, well, I know that he's going to be expanding. Do I want to expand? But I didn't, just because I do have a window here where I can blink in and do a lot of damage, if not win the game outright. I send this probe after I put the pylon just to go ahead and check in what's going on. I see that there's no army just standing there. I see that it is cannons, and from there I can safely say, okay, well, since I see an army, he's not really scouting me. You know, I'm just gonna go ahead and send my stalkers and then go from there. Hallucination is done. I try to do different units each game. What I went for this time was and you'll see I take the probe, I put them on gas, and then I send some more probes down there, and that's just to be able to have this gas. Without that geyser, I don't think I'd have been able to get in this last warping, or just, yeah, because it was cutting it close either way. Now I realized in supply block I'm pretty bummed out because I wanted to get one more warping in, and I realized, alright, well, here's the thing, I can either go in now with just these amount, or I can try to get that pylon and a warp in before this hallucination finishes, because I've only got one. You know, you've only got really one chance to get it in, unless you want to build more sentries, but that takes away from your stalker army. So I noticed that it is there. You know, I noticed that my supply frees up, and then I say, okay, yeah, good. Hallucination is literally just about to finish. I blink in. Automatically I start going after, you know, I was going to go after these buildings, and he goes ahead and quits. What I should have done, in my opinion, was go after these pylons, but I noticed that the buildings were warping in, and you know, at this time I wasn't really clicking on them to see what they were, so I figured if they're warping in, it'd be a lot easier to kill them than to kill the pylons. But if they're already warped in, and then they're, you know, good to go, then I opt to kill the pylon. Now, I want to show this just because what he ended up doing here, you know, at this point he has no warp gates, and he has 5 cannons right here. For Protoss players that are, you know, wanting to do this, go forge first, you know, try to cannon somebody in, and then, you know, fast expand or whatever this is called. While it's not a build that I would say is good, what I would say is that if you want to do this, you know, focus less on getting all these production buildings, and most importantly, I would say, you know, these 3 cannons being here, like here, and here, would have been a lot better. You know, as I'm blinking in, I would have had cannon fire, and it just, maybe, you know, a lot of people, if they go observer, then, you know, that observer can get knocked out, and then there is no way that they can blink up. Last thing I want to point out here, the reason that I did choose to go hallucination is because I realized that, you know, I didn't want to build a robo just so I can get the observer. What I did was, if anything, the only reason that I would have got a robo was if I was scared of DTs. But putting these cannons right here, I mean, I think I can get enough shots off between the 2 of these. If for the, you know, weird 1 out of 100 times that he puts cannons in the front and then secrets, you know, DT or proxy DTs or Dark Shrine, whatever the case, I was pretty confident that these 2 cannons would be able to deal with that. And then if anything, I had a sentry here to force field the ramp if I saw him coming in, and then from there I can warp in and you know, go from there. So I just chose to get the hallucination because, you know, if he did have cannons here, you know, that might have spoiled the entire build, and then I wouldn't have been able to blink in. But being able to blink in, or you know, hallucinate a Colossus and then get it in there. It's just for my, you know, sake of getting this build done. That's what I opt to go for. As always, please leave anything in the comments as far as what I can do better to make these casts more enjoyable or more fulfilling. And yeah, thank you for watching. Take care.